welcome to the 2022 Virtual STEM Showcase. We are so excited to have you here tonight, and the students and the teachers are excited to showcase their learning through our 4 signature practices: project-based learning, design thinking, inquiry, and of course STEM. So sit back and enjoy the show.
We're Polar and Explorers, and we're building a shelter. My finger is tall.
So I wrote the word tall.
I wrote the word tall.
And put your finger here and say tall.
My penguin is short, and I draw the word short. My penguin is love, and I wrote the letter love.
Hands up. Spaghetti, 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 spaghetti.
In TK, they also spend time every day on the carpet, learning their sounds,
Rainbow breath. And bring it down.
and also get time to continue practicing their building and motor skills.
We learned in science that we reuse newspapers, and we made paper mache with the newspaper, and I made a basketball.
Okay, London, what did you make?
A boat.
Why did you make a boat?
So the gingerbread can go on the other side,
The other side of what?
the river.
The river. Why was he wanting to go to the other side of the river?
The people that were trying to catch him, and the fox.
And the fox. What did you make your boat out of?
Foil and sticks.
Is it floating? Is it floating? Yeah! All right. Good job.
All right, Madison, what 2 stories did we read?
The gingerbread girl and the gingerbread boy.
Good. And what did we do with these stories? We talked about what?
What were the same and what were different.
Good. And what were some of the things that were the same?
Oven, and a river, and a fox.
Good job. And what was something that was different about them?
That one has a pig and one has a cat.
Good job. And what did you decorate?
A gingerbread man.
A gingerbread man.
In math, we coded our B-bots to move to the number sentence that matched the sum. We had to collaborate with our group to solve the addition problem and write a code for our B-bot to move.
Yes! So maybe we can do turn up. Turn up.
In math, we use math tools to show our math thinking. We build models to show what is happening when we add and subtract. I am also able to explain my thinking using the model.
So, and I noticed it was 2, and I drew 2, so I drew 11 minus 9 equals 2.
In science, we learned about the patterns of the sun, moon, and stars. We collaborated with classmates to make a poster showing these patterns. Lastly, we presented our posters to share with the class. This is the Big Dipper, this is the Small Dipper, this is the orbit of the Earth, this is the Earth, and these are the stars. In science, we study the sun's patterns and learn that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. We had to think like designers and engineers and collaborate with a partner to build a house for Mrs. Bozak. We had to plan where to place windows so she had sunlight all day. Then we tested our design, made improvements, and tested it again. We discovered having all the windows facing east or west. The best design was from Mrs. Bozak. Some students even put a window on the roof. So it's basically, we're wrapping this in this silver wool.
The steel wool?
Yeah.
What was your thinking behind that?
It's so the dirt doesn't absorb into it.
Nice.
So what was this project?
To build something to protect the road from a landslide.
We learned how wind and water can change the earth. We built a model of a hoe and had to design a way to make a landslide from blocking a road. We used clay, pipe cleaner, sponges, and sticks to build a levee.
When we simulated a rainstorm, all our ideas were successful. We saved the road!
All right, friends, are you ready to see if your road's protected by your landslide?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Whoa! On the
Wow.
in the dirt, like soaking up the water.
We needed a sponge and popsicle sticks, as you can see, and we needed also to keep the trees up, we used pipe cleaners.
So did the landslide go onto the road or was it successful?
It was successful.
Okay, so this is a balloon and rag. When you rub it together, it will create static electricity.
And this is a bowl, and so there's foil. There's 2 foils on each side and clay, and there's a wire connecting the 2 foils together.
So then when I rub the balloon and put it over here, almost close to the foil, you can see it's kind of moving.
We were reading the book Little House in the Big Woods. So we made these cabins. I made my cabin with blocks, popsicle sticks, and sticks that can stick together. What I have built is windows, but I'm still working on the windows. And then I use tape to hold the popsicle sticks. And then for the roof, I will add like popsicle sticks to connect it.
We have been learning about forces. Gravity is a force we have learned about. The ball will fall down the side of the bowl when dropped because gravity pulls it down. The higher up the ball is dropped from, the longer it will take for the forces on the ball to stop, and the ball will stop rolling.
Hi, this is my human body flip book. And why we did this is to learn about all our body parts.
Students spend weeks researching and installing the various parts on their bodies to make a summary of all the major organs and systems that make up their bodies.
So Miss Hawk assigned us to make a toy or game for our first grade buddies. And we're in the middle of making it, but our goal of the game is to make it so that our first grade buddies learn about the coastal region and have fun at the same time.
First, we tried to understand what our first graders like. Then we wrote down stuff that kids, like first graders, like to do, like they like messy stuff. Then we designed prototypes, games that we can make.
We made a game with cards to match like plants and animals, landforms, and bodies of water to each other, and to help them learn about all that stuff.
We get to go visit our music teacher, Miss Whip, weekly, and we are currently playing the Boomwhackers and learning to read music.
This book is about a girl named Allie.
And she has dyslexia and she loves to draw.
And she can't read like other people can. She's basically just trying to figure out how to read in a different way that other people don't know how to do.
She has this notebook called the Notebook of Impossible Things. So here are a few of her pictures that she drew. She takes animals and human things and combines them together. So what we did is we drew a picture about an animal doing something a human does. I drew a roller coaster with red pandas and I called it the Red Panda Express. I wrote a haiku. So the first sentence is running to the lane, fun, happy pandas ride, running on the loose. Okay, so my drawing was a dolphin jump roping, and in my picture all of the kids are confused, and as you can see the sun is a bit confused. The kids are confused. Even the sun is confused. The dolphin doesn't care.
I drew a dog reading a book. It's like something that dogs don't normally do because dogs normally rip up pages. Under sunny skies, waiting for a big surprise with my book in hand.
The reason we're doing this is because in our book Fish in a Tree, the main character, Allie, she has a learning difference, and so basically she has to learn basically visually, so one of the teachers had to help her. That's why we did this. So we graphed different ways the students have need help learning.
The highest category is musical, so now our teachers know how they can help us learn, and that's by doing more musical things.
And the verbal and linguistic was the least at 0. So it might be a little bit more challenging in English class. Hopefully they understand that and make it easier and put more musical in there.
5th grade been selling winter wishes for Team Seas. Team Seas is about cleaning up the ocean and making the world better out of the pollution. So basically if you donate $1, 1 pound of plastic and trash comes out of the ocean. So winter wishes are something, so you could buy them for 50 cents and you have different kinds. You choose any kind and then you could write your name, you could write the teacher's name and then what class you're in and then who it's for. And then after you write whatever you want to them and then it'll be just for them.
5th grade is also starting a podcast for PBL this year. In this next clip, you'll see some students interviewing Miss Gia, who runs our wellness center on campus, for an upcoming episode.
What challenges do you face when teaching mindfulness to children?
What I find when I'm doing mindfulness with kids, the hardest thing sometimes is to get someone to the point where they can forget about everything else and just focus on just this moment.
What is your favorite way to practice mindfulness?
My favorite thing to teach kids in mindfulness is EFT. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and it gives us permission to feel what we're feeling and letting it go. Thank you for your question.
In 6th grade, we made lavender eye pillows as a sewing project. First, we cut our fabric,
and then we folded in half with the right side facing in, and then we sewed the first edge and then the bottom edge, leaving one side open.
After you're done sewing both sides, you flip it inside out so it'll look like this, and then you fill it up with rice or beans of your choice. And then you stitch it, you hand stitch it with this, and you put it in the microwave, and then you put it on your rice.
How I felt about the project when I first heard about it, I thought it would be really fun to do and to experience how and learn how to sew. And when it was finally over, I was actually proud of myself in the class for actually doing it, and it actually worked out perfectly.
I am here to talk about Cardboard Arcade. The basics are that we build a cardboard arcade for first graders and second graders. We went through a process of building every Wednesday. Basically, we're just cutting out cardboard, painting it, and practicing building.
Our game is Pete the Cat themed Plinko game. It was marketed towards 6 to 7 year olds.
We interviewed first grade. It was actually really fun to know what they were interested in.
We considered their height and how far they could throw a ball into making the game. Arcade game day was very fun. We loved seeing the kids play our game, and it was really fun operating the game.
This is one of the books we are reading in English class. In this book, there's a character named Parky Elias, who is not a great reader, but he's pretty good at anagrams.
So this is my picture, and anagrams are where you can arrange your letters in a word to make another word. For example, Ava Purnell, which is my name, it can make all oven, run, and pot.
My name's Natalie Tableros, and the words I made are table, rose, tab, and nail.
My name's Lyndon Hall, and when you scrabble my words together, it makes all and lend.
My name is Brenda Olivares, and I scrambled my words and I got bread and olives.
We do a lot of hands-on projects and activities.
It's like a safe environment, and there are many people to meet, and the teachers really care about you as well.
I think my favorite project so far in 7th grade is all of the mini experiments we've done in science, because they're very fun but also very safe.
I think the energy game is actually pretty special in learning, because it allows you to learn adding, subtracting, and sometimes multiplying and dividing with integers, basically positive and negative numbers.
I'm coding the microbit, and I'm coding it to basically have just a standard conversation. Like, it's gonna say hello, how are you today, are you doing well, are you like, what did you eat this morning, just basic questions.
SketchUp is about finding things you want to build, sketch, and right here there's components that you can make, spell out, and you can import it here and make it larger, cut them, move them any way you want. Right now I'm trying to make a raft, since in the movie they were having rafts. But right now I'm just messing around with this, making the Titanic.
So our project is to make a design toy. So while we pull it, something moves along while we drag it. And using that, we use it to present the little grades.
This thing was made for like the first graders at the Pull Tour Parade. And the Pull Tour Parade was the thing where you take the machine that you made and you pulled it around so the wheels could move and the thing could power on the top. And you're moving it past first graders so they could see the machine and look at it.
We built gliders.
The goal of the project was to build the best glider we could.
So the software program we used was Whitebox Learning.
The goal was to get the optimization, which is right here, as far to the right as possible, and if it was in the red zone, the glider would not function.
You had to be very, very precise, or else it would tip one way and it wouldn't have good pitch, or it would tip another way and the drag would be too high. Or...
Here's a 1-to-1 scale of all of the different pieces.
Oh, there we go. Now it's breaking out.
Basically, our goal was just to make a roller coaster the best way ability using paper tools like this, using columns, beams, and other things to support it, creating stuff to make loops, side turns, and a bunch of other things, using velocity and other things to make this happen.
The goal of the project was kind of like to find a different, unique way to represent my memories and instead of just writing it down. I did a Ferris wheel to represent all my memories. Every time you spin it, it shows a different memory. I wanted it to show mainly all the memories at once. I decided to do a tree to represent some of my memories. Looking back at it, I had better memories, so I made the tree bigger. The moon represents how it was in the dark or whatever. The sun represents how it was good memories and happy.
Thank you for joining us this evening. We really appreciate you taking the time to see all of the good things that are going on at Foothill Knolls. If you're interested in attending Foothill Knolls Academy of Innovation, or if you have a student who's interested, please feel free to reach out to myself, Jennifer Morris Principal, or to our Assistant Principal, Colette Bozek. We would love to sit down and have a conversation with you. Have a great evening.